I'm sure you've heard the news. Like, comment, and subscribe. On February 5, 2025, former President Donald Trump sent shockwaves across the globe with a bold proposition: the United States taking control of the Gaza Strip. Speaking at a rally in Florida, Trump framed the proposal as a necessary step towards achieving peace and stability in the perpetually volatile region. He cited the failures of past diplomatic efforts and the ongoing cycle of violence between Israel and Hamas as the driving forces behind his decision. Trump's vision hinges on the belief that direct U.S. administration can achieve what years of international mediation couldn't: a lasting resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. He envisions a future where Gaza, under American guidance, transforms from a battle-scarred land into a beacon of prosperity and peaceful coexistence. However, his proposition has been met with a maelstrom of reactions, ranging from cautious optimism to outright condemnation. The international community, still reeling from the unexpected announcement, grapples to understand the implications of such a radical shift in the geopolitical landscape. Whether Trump's vision becomes a reality or remains a controversial footnote in his post-presidency is yet to be seen. But one thing is certain: his proposal has ignited a debate that will continue to shape the future of the Middle East and the world's role in the region. Proponents of Trump's proposal argue that a U.S. takeover of Gaza could usher in a new era of stability and prosperity for the region. They point to the potential for economic development, improved infrastructure, and increased security as key benefits. Under American administration, Gaza could potentially attract foreign investment, creating jobs and boosting the local economy. Furthermore, the U.S. could leverage its resources to modernize Gaza's infrastructure, including its water treatment facilities, power grid, and transportation networks. This could significantly improve the quality of life for ordinary Palestinians living in the impoverished Strip. Supporters also believe that a strong U.S. military presence in Gaza could deter future conflicts and terrorist activities, creating a safer environment for both Israelis and Palestinians. This, they argue, would be a welcome change from the constant fear and violence that has plagued the region for decades. However, these potential benefits come with a hefty price tag and a myriad of challenges. Critics argue that the costs of occupation, both financial and human, could outweigh any potential benefits. For Israel, the prospect of a U.S.-controlled Gaza Strip offers a tantalizing glimpse of enhanced security. The Gaza Strip, under the control of Hamas since 2007, has been a constant source of rocket attacks and security threats for Israel. A U.S. takeover, in theory, would neutralize this threat, providing Israel with a much-needed security buffer. The presence of the U.S. military, with its superior firepower and resources, could effectively deter Hamas and other militant groups from launching attacks against Israel. This would allow Israel to allocate fewer resources to defense and focus on other pressing issues. Moreover, a U.S. administration could potentially crack down on the smuggling of weapons and materials used for terrorist activities, further enhancing Israel's security. This would be a welcome development for a nation that has lived under the specter of terrorism for decades. However, critics argue that a U.S. takeover could further inflame anti-American sentiment in the region, potentially leading to more violence and instability in the long run. Interestingly, Trump's proposal has also sparked speculation about the role of Elon Musk and his companies in the potential redevelopment of Gaza. Musk, known for his ambitious ventures in space exploration, electric vehicles, and renewable energy, has often expressed his desire to contribute to global challenges. Some analysts believe that a U.S.-controlled Gaza could present lucrative opportunities for Musk's companies. SpaceX, for instance, could play a role in developing communication infrastructure in the region. Tesla could contribute to the establishment of a sustainable transportation system, potentially powered by solar energy. Furthermore, Musk's ventures in sustainable energy solutions could be particularly beneficial for Gaza, which suffers from chronic power shortages. The development of solar and wind energy infrastructure could provide a much-needed boost to the local economy and improve the quality of life for Gazans. However, critics argue that focusing on the potential economic benefits for U.S. corporations overlooks the complex political and humanitarian realities of the region. Section 5. The Price of Peace, the Economic Burden. While the potential benefits of a U.S. takeover of Gaza are enticing, the economic costs are substantial and cannot be ignored. The U.S. would be responsible for rebuilding Gaza's shattered infrastructure, providing essential services, and stimulating economic growth. This would require a massive infusion of funds, potentially straining the U.S. economy. Critics argue that the U.S., already grappling with a massive national debt, cannot afford another costly foreign intervention. They point to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan as cautionary tales, highlighting the long-term economic and human costs of prolonged military engagements. Moreover, the economic burden would not be limited to the initial takeover and rebuilding phase. The U.S. would likely need to maintain a significant military presence in Gaza for the foreseeable future, further draining resources and manpower. This raises serious questions about the sustainability and long-term economic viability of such an undertaking. Section 6. The Human Cost Backlash and Resistance. Beyond the financial burden, the potential human cost of a U.S. takeover of Gaza is perhaps the most concerning aspect of Trump's proposal. The Gaza Strip is home to over 2 million Palestinians, many of whom harbor deep resentment towards Israel and the United States. A U.S. military presence in Gaza could be perceived as an occupation, sparking widespread protests and potentially igniting another cycle of violence. This could lead to civilian casualties and further destabilize the region. Moreover, the presence of U.S. troops could make them targets for attacks by Hamas and other militant groups. This could lead to American casualties, further escalating tensions, and potentially dragging the U.S. into another protracted conflict in the Middle East. Section 7. The world reacts, a chorus of opinions. The international community's reaction to Trump's proposal has been a mixed bag of cautious optimism, skepticism, and outright condemnation. While some world leaders expressed support for any initiative that could bring peace to the region, others voiced concerns about the potential ramifications of a U.S. takeover of Gaza. The European Union, a key player in the Middle East peace process, expressed reservations about the proposal, emphasizing the need for a negotiated two-state solution. Russia, a staunch ally of the Palestinian Authority, condemned the proposal as a violation of international law and a dangerous escalation of the conflict. Meanwhile, some Arab states, traditionally wary of U.S. intervention in the region, surprised many by expressing cautious support for the proposal. They viewed it as a potential opportunity to break the deadlock in the peace process and bring much-needed stability to the region. Section 8. The American Divide, Public Opinion at Home. Back in the United States, public opinion on Trump's proposal is sharply divided, reflecting the country's deeply polarized political landscape. Supporters of the proposal, largely drawn from Trump's conservative base, applaud his bold leadership and believe it's a necessary step to protect Israel and combat terrorism. They argue that the U.S. has a moral obligation to intervene in the region and bring an end to the decades-long conflict. They believe that a U.S. takeover of Gaza is the only way to achieve lasting peace and security for both Israelis and Palestinians. However, opponents of the proposal, mainly from the liberal side of the political spectrum, criticize it as reckless and counterproductive. They argue that it would further inflame anti-American sentiment in the region, entangle the U.S. in another costly and unwinnable conflict, and damage America's standing in the world. Section 9. The Road Ahead, Uncertainty and Speculation. As of now, Trump's proposal remains just that, a proposal. No concrete plans have been announced, and the Biden administration has not indicated any willingness to pursue such a course of action. The future of Gaza, therefore, remains shrouded in uncertainty. Whether Trump's proposal gains traction or fades into obscurity, it has undoubtedly brought the Israeli-Palestinian conflict back into the global spotlight. It has reignited debates about the role of the U.S. in the Middle East, the viability of a two-state solution, and the potential consequences of unilateral action. Only time will tell what the future holds for Gaza, but one thing is certain: the path to peace in the region remains as elusive as ever. Like and subscribe to this channel for more content and breaking news. Gap 3S, Section 10, The Path Forward. As we reflect on the complexities and uncertainties surrounding the future of Gaza, it's crucial to remember that every conversation, every proposal, and every action has the potential to shape the region in profound ways. The international community, local leaders, and everyday citizens all have roles to play in forging a path towards peace and stability. GAP 2S, whether through diplomatic efforts, grassroots movements, or economic initiatives, the journey ahead will undoubtedly be fraught with challenges. Yet it is in these very challenges that opportunities for lasting change can be found. The world watches and waits, hopeful that the next steps taken will lead to a brighter, more peaceful future for Gaza and the entire Middle East. GAP 2S. As we continue to monitor and analyze these developments, we encourage you to stay engaged, ask questions, and participate in the dialogue. Your voice matters. GAP 2S. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more content and breaking news. Together, let's stay informed and hopeful for a better tomorrow. GAP 2S. Like and subscribe to this channel for more content and breaking news.